Let's talk to Justin Urquhart-Stewart, an economist, of course, a man who will tell us all about why inflation has jumped to 3.5% in April from 2.6% in March. Justin, a very good morning to you.
Morning, Mike. Good to see you.
Good to see you. We were expecting about 3.3% yesterday when I was doing this show at this very time. So it's a bit worse than expected. Even Rachel Reeves says she's disappointed.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. When they said things are going up, I don't think she didn't exactly want this one to go up. By 3.5%, that's quite a significant level. When you look at why this is occurring, now, the argument will be that a lot of this is going to be sort of one-off household issues, because gas has gone up, electricity's gone up.
Yeah.
But remember, the base cost of that, yes, of course, it's inflation, it goes up, but every time that goes up, it means it's more money coming out of your income every month. That's less money for you to go and spend. And remember, 60% of our economy is based on you and I, well, not just the two of us, but the consumer going out and spending stuff. And if you're just taking money out the entire time, of course, you're not going to be able to grow the economy.
Right.
Now, add to that, you've got airfares going up, but of course, the other bit, of course, is national insurance comes in. And that's a significant level. And the bit I think that really grates a lot of people is when we actually hear, and they've put up the minimum wage. No, they haven't. No, they don't pay the minimum wage. Companies pay the minimum wage. Right. They've had to put the cost up. And companies then get blamed for that. And of course, it's not. This is a government just being dictatorial about it and saying, we're going to put pay up. By the way, you're going to pay for it. And so that means less investment going in, less jobs being created. And I'm afraid you're just being squeezed yet again. So
everybody you talk to will tell you the same story. I mean, I've got a son who lives up in Manchester, goes to uni there. He works as a part-time job, working in a sort of hospitality scenario. And he said, the company have decided that they're going to use less people and have fewer shifts because of the fact that, and it's quite a big organisation, because national insurance has gone up, minimum wage has gone up, so they can't afford to give as many shifts out, which means that, more people are poorer.
And so you're not seeing the growth in the economy. Now, How do you get growth going in? Well, there's one key way of doing it, and actually encouraging confidence, getting companies, giving them the confidence to go out and spend and invest. Now, one of the great schemes we have for that was known as the Enterprise Investment Scheme, where up to 50% of the money can be guaranteed. So it doesn't cost the government anything. It's people putting money out of their pockets themselves, investing in businesses. But if it goes wrong, then government will actually provide some sort of guarantee for some of it. But of course, some of them will go wrong. Quite a lot of them go right, in which case the government earns more money out of taxation out of this. And that is the way you encourage more investment, more companies to get going, and encouraging that magic word, confidence.
Yes.
And at the moment, you're seeing in the high street, and what you're seeing, but I'm seeing record number of shops now closing.
Yeah.
And not just becoming rather dodgy barbers shops and more coffee shops, but actually just closing and not opening up again. And I'm afraid this is actually meaning we're going to have a pretty thin summer as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly right. And also, how is it that nobody in this government seems to have a clue about economics? They don't seem to know that if you push that lever over there, then this happens over here. I mean, your child could have taught you this at the age of 10.
It is ridiculous, because when you actually look at the amount of experience people have had in business, and when I mean in business, I don't mean just working for a company. I mean people have actually put their house up on the line or put their capital up to actually sit there and wake up in the morning in a cold sweat wondering if they've still got a business or not. And those people who actually been in that position, it doesn't sound like it to me. And Rachel from accounts certainly hasn't. So I'm afraid that with the Treasury, and unfortunately the Treasury don't have the expertise they used to have years back, because they used to be there for a lifetime. Now they're there for 3 or 4 years, then they go on to the Foreign Office or something like that. So bright people, I'm sure they are. But they don't have that expertise, that understanding. How do you get the economy to work? And I say, it's not that difficult when you actually think about where does money come from, how do you encourage that confidence coming in, and actually then getting people to invest, employing more people, and giving them the confidence to go and spend. So there are various areas we've got in success in this country, our high-tech areas, those sort of areas. We should be focusing to get them, allow them to grow, giving them more support. Don't get the government to invest in it. Don't want government investing in anything. But allow actually investors to be able to actually put money in, give them some support in that, and you'll get some growth coming. That's how we've always done it, and it's worked in the past.
Yeah, exactly right. Meanwhile, front page of the Telegraph today, I don't know if you've seen this, is that Angela Rayner's apparently got a plan to take even more money away from anybody who's got any. They're suggesting that it's a real sort of schism at the top of the government between her and Rachel Reeves. She wants them, rather than to cut public services, basically raise more taxes from people's savings.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Well, what they're looking to is let's increase the number of people paying tax.
Yeah.
Now, nice idea. When you retire, the idea is you've got your retirement pot and you don't have to pay tax anymore because of you're not earning as much. And so that's fine. But unfortunately, what's been happening is because we've had this fiscal drag, which is not cross-dressing accountants, this is all to do with actually making sure tax levels being maintained, frozen. So more and more people are being dragged into tax. And so what you're seeing now is record levels of people now paying tax who frankly shouldn't be there. They're at the stage of their lives where they can't actually earn any more to actually pay for their pension. So they're sort of stuck in this sort of doom loop of actually increasing costs and not being able to actually get more money in the other side of it. Unless they're going to ask people in their 70s and 80s to actually go out and get a job. And so it is, I'm
Well,
afraid.
good luck with that.
Well, exactly. And so maybe you have to go and find another country to go and do it. Spare me.
Well, that is the problem. An awful lot of people, if they have the ability and the means to do so, are just leaving. I mean, there's millions of people leaving this country right now because they can't stand the government and they don't want to be here when they start putting taxes up even more. Because as we speak, the economy gets worse and worse every day.
Well, being in a position where you've worked hard all your life and you've actually paid a fair amount of tax, a lot of tax, and if you've run a business, you've been in a position where you've been actually helping creating jobs, creating wealth, getting more jobs coming through. There's no thanks for any of that at all, except at the end of it now find yourself having to pay more tax. And so understandably, people say, well, actually, let's go to a country where you're thanked for actually being successful in these things, like America. And it is frustrating that you're finding that position. You can go to Europe these days because you're going to get taxed even more heavily there. So I'm afraid it's going to be very difficult. No, what we need a government here who understands how to create wealth. It's not a matter of being just make money for the wealthy. Make sure there's a fair amount of tax being paid. It's actually creating wealth for the country. And you do that by getting those businesses larger and encouraging them to invest more. And then lo and behold, actually, you get more people being employed, more people employed. That means more pay. That means more tax coming into the government. It's not that difficult.
Also, people will spend more money in the high street. You know, it really isn't rocket science. Great to talk to you, Justin. Thank you very much indeed. Justin Eckert-Stewart explains to us why inflation has jumped to 3.5% in April and why it's bad news for this government because they get everything wrong and they've got this wrong as well. Absolutely extraordinary.